verbal riot.
So obviously, we do this because we love, movies, right? We love film, the whole deal. And I know for me, I always, even over the past couple of years, things have gotten weird. I still look forward to like, summer movies and that kind of thing, and just going out and popcorn movies and drinking and having a good time, right?
Mhm.
But I don't know. Like I've noticed, and I guess everyone else knows because they're writing about it, that the box office numbers are bad now. They've been bad all year, and I don't know. What do you think about that? Like, what do you contribute this to?
Well, we're up against a lot. As we talked about before, streaming really changed the game. And everything is merging. It feels like just this constantly evolving merge of bundles. I don't really know. I feel like that is the future. Also, obviously, the oh wow, look at that. Yeah. The
Yeah,
strike,
I just pulled this up on
yeah,
Variety. It's
yeah.
it's marginal decline.
The strike obviously played a huge part, and sadly enough, for me as such a big TV fan, lost a lot of shows that I was just really on. Um And this summer, I don't think things are going to get better until later in the summer. This is like the first year, I want to say, since 2009 that Marvel hasn't opened uh, with a summer movie. They've got Deadpool and Wolverine coming out like later.
They do, but I keep hearing that's yeah. Is that an MCU film though, or a Fox film? Right? Like, I guess that's the weird part about that. I mean, I know it's all owned by Disney, so it doesn't matter. But
Talk about, I think it's well, yeah, it's the first R-rated Disney Marvel
right.
film. Like I think that is gonna be basically what saves the box office this summer, in my opinion.
Oh no, you're
Um,
not wrong. That's
but
absolutely what's going to save it.
is it gonna be enough to, if you ask me, like, are you gonna get people out to the movies, or are people gonna stay in and watch, the binge watch the new season of Emily in Paris? Probably the latter. you know, it's
Yeah.
just,
No,
it's
I agree. I don't think there's many movies that are going to bring people to the theater in the numbers that they want them to have. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't think Twisters is going to do it. you know,
no,
it's just not. Deadpool and Wolverine is probably the biggest thing happening this year,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Outside of Dune 2, which happened, and I think Deadpool and Wolverine might beat those numbers as well.
Yeah,
So
I think they will. I think they will. I was glad to see the success of Dune 2, but was not really surprised by it. But yeah, I think that's really what we're looking at. Other than that, I mean, there's not really anything that I foresee being even, like a surprise summer hit that's going to pull it through.
and it's kind of crazy because I mean this stuff does obviously affect what comes now or what comes later. I mean, right? Because studios are already feeling the hit. To be
Mhm.
honest with you, I feel like Disney has and I'm just jumping to Disney as an example. They I- I'm curious about their real numbers. You know what I mean? Because I don't think they've seen real profit from any of these films. Not at least for like on the level they need to. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I just saw this the other day. Um, yeah, Pixar, laying off 14% of its workforce, right? That's Pixar.
Yeah.
Like Pixar used to be like printing money.
It's it's I think a lot of it too is the repercussions of the strike, and then who knows what's happening with IATSE, if this is going to continue. But yeah, I think what we're seeing is a lot of that. And then, I mean, from what I understand, even with the layoffs, people at the top are still seeing an increase in salary. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know if
wild.
that's yeah, I don't know if it's that is particularly with Pixar, but um yeah, we are at a very interesting time.
I now I guess in all fairness, they said it was the 14% that was laid off was Pixar in relation to Disney Plus shows. right? So I guess they beefed up their Disney Plus division of Pixar, and it's not looking like it's going to work out. But mainly because Disney Plus isn't working out.
Which is so wild to me, because I feel like that I don't know, maybe it's just me and my perspective, but I feel like there's so much content coming out of Disney Plus right now. I'm surprised.
Okay, but yeah, content, but is it good, right? I think see, you like you were bringing up the strike, and which is valid, completely streaming valid. I think there's been a dip in quality.
Mm,
Like just for me on a writing level, on an originality level, I think, I don't know how, even in the worst economy, how, like, and I'm again just using Disney as an example, you can own three of the biggest franchises in the world, right? Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars, and fail. There should be no failing with those three, right? Just one of those alone is enough to carry a studio
mhm.
if done right. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of it's interesting that, and you know what? It could be a combination. It could just be a perfect storm of the strike, of the streaming, and of bad writing. Like, just all these things
Yeah,
have turned people away, and add to that, just people have more options now, right? They have YouTube, they have you
that
know Instagram.
totally what I was going to say. I think looking back on the history of things, if you're talking about traditionally TV shows that would come out of networks, I mean, Seinfeld, if Seinfeld came out today, it never would have made it past the pilot, maybe a couple of episodes. The
No, you're
NBC
right.
kept that show on so long until it finally caught on and became the massive hit that it was. I don't think shows get, I think there's so much money that goes into the production of a show. Like take the Peripheral, right? That was one of my favorite shows. I really not one of well, I really enjoyed it. I'll say that. It was Nolan and his wife, and they came out of
Hmm.
Westworld, and that was one of the losses we got from the strike. Sadly, it was a lot of money to make. There was too much time going into season two. I think they had started pre-production, and then it was just done. And they're so good. I mean, Fallout again. They always. I just think everything they put out is actually. I really enjoy their content.
No, I
Um,
agree with that. Fallout was amazing.
yeah, so good. But I do feel like, yeah, the way we consume content these days, like television is dying. To
Yeah.
broadcast is going away. And as an entertainment journalist, what we see on the carpet as press, like we are up against influencers, people
Oh
that you
yeah.
see on TikTok who have a TikTok following, who are
Who can
now
barely write a paragraph of
right,
anything.
or can't write at all. They just
Right.
don't maybe don't even edit their own videos, but whatever they've been able to do, they brand themselves and they have, they're giving they have an audience, and that's basically what press is. You're giving an artist access to an audience.
Yeah,
And
and I think that's why there are a lot of, we in the YouTube game call them shills, right?
Mhm.
Where it's like, they will give the worst companies the best reviews because they want to keep getting those nice things, right? They want to get the goodie bags, they want to get the access, right? The early access. They want all these things, so they're willing to lie, or at least, uh compromise their their integrity a little bit, right? Just to, keep that access. And that's the thing. They're doing this for access, right? They're not even doing it for a paycheck, which
or
which which hurts journalists even more.
a lot of them are getting paid right now and getting the celebrity status out of it.
Well,
It's
some like,
it's so wild to see. Yeah, there's like a whole revolution of it. So I feel like sadly movies and TV are going to fall that way too, is just how, yeah, people consume their content through Instagram and TikTok.
yeah,
So
that's and I don't look. And me and Chris were talking about this as well at the concert. We talk about this all the time, really. But we're saying that it's just this generation doesn't really appreciate movies, right? the way our generation did. Like for us, going to the movies was a big deal back in the day,
Mhm.
you know? I mean, for me, it still is. I still love going to the movies, but back then, especially when you were young and you were with the friends and you would just that's what you did on weekends. You would go to the movies or you would go to Blockbuster and pick up some videos, right? But
Totally.
you were always watching movies where this generation really doesn't care.
Totally. Yeah. It's I don't it's a scary thought to think about because it really was something very special to
Yeah.
us. And I mean, I'd like to think the art is always going to live on, but the access to it, how we're going to be consuming it, I think that's still evolving and I don't know that it will stay at the box office.
I for me, I just fear this future of where the movie theaters go away, right? And I don't want that to happen. Like I want movie theaters because I mean, back in the day, they said the same thing about drive-ins, right? And for a long time, drive-ins went away. Now there are a few drive-ins that are open now that are kind of novelty
Mhm.
things, but back then, drive-ins were all over the place, and they died out.
Well, and getting creative. So things like we do a lot of rooftop screenings or
Right?
screenings of
Yeah.
Hollywood Forever or something that kind of makes it more of an event. I mean, in during the pandemic, we kind of luckily had the option, especially in California, because I don't know that all places still have drive-ins. Well, but
Yeah,
we had the option to,
right.
do those drive-ins or outdoor movies. Um, people are going to have to get inventive. They really are. We're going to need new ideas, and it's going to have to merge with what was to with what is. And hopefully, someone will be able to figure it out. But I'm with you. Like we were just talking about the arc light, which
Oh god, I missed the
yeah,
ArcLight so much, man. That
that's a
was such a great theater. The dome.
yeah. That was where I interviewed Ringo Starr, actually.
Oh
So
god, that
yeah,
I miss that place so much.
yeah, yeah. Me too.